Caucus General Body Meeting. And my name is Akia, for all of you who I don't know. I'm one of the co-presidents.
Jason.
Yeah, our other co-president. Just Jason. And actually, do y'all want to go around and just say your names really quickly?
I'm Bianca.
Tiffany.
Kara, Monica, Jasmine, Priscilla, Shamira,
Asia Lorraine. And that is Dr. Schoenbach.
Vic Schoenbach.
Behind the camera. So we kind of just want to go through some updates on things that the caucus has been involved with. One thing I just want to start with is let Kara go, actually, because we just had a really nice service project, so I'd like to hear about it.
Well, first I want to thank everyone that participated. Most of them are not here. But glad that people came. Anyway, it was really fun. Oh, Jason and Jasmine, you guys are. It was really fun. We went to the Ronald McDonald House in Durham, and we baked cupcakes for the residents. Thank you, Zakia, for helping steer me in that direction. It was really good because it actually ended up being, they do a birthday once a month for the residents. There's 55 families that live there. So they do birthdays once a month, and it happened to be that day. So it was all decorated with balloons and whatever. But the cupcakes were right on point, and I don't know how many we made. I know, it was a lot. And they even had some cupcakes when we first got there that they needed decorated. So it was just a lot, it was perfect. So we had a nice time. And then afterwards, they showed a little video and gave a tour of the place. They're really interested in having us back at any time to do anything. And other things are baking treats again, cooking a full meal, or helping clean or do an activity with the residents. So that was really nice. I also want to thank everyone that participated in the fundraiser to help raise money so that we could buy the items. Thank you for going to the store and all those things. Just thank everyone for helping out. Other thing I wanted to mention was Bianca's, when she sent out the email to remind us about going to Ronald McDonald House, she also included on there a link to some of the Black History Month events going on. So maybe we'll have to resend that. And Jason was just talking about promoting that. But there were a lot of good things going on, like Cornell West is coming, Dr. Cornell West is coming to campus, and some other things. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Just so y'all know, it was super cheap to do this event. So I think we raised about $80, $88 to be able to buy all the materials. And after I returned 75% of the stuff that we didn't use,
I was like,
yeah, we only spent $30. So that was,
and a lot of, it was you know, it was nice to get back, and it was a nice social thing, because there was a lot of, oh, nice to meet you, and then people linking up to do, you know, to do other things. So that was really.
Yeah, and the other thing that I learned is that we were about, 6, 7 people? You don't need that many people. Sometimes because people's schedules do not permit for them to come to every event. So you just need to target maybe 4 or 5 people.
Yeah, because they wanted 5 to 10.
Yeah.
So.
thank you. We have a representative here from the Minority Health Conference. This is Tiffany Williams. And what is your position?
Planning Committee Coordinator.
So she's going to give us an update on the conference.
All right, so there's an MHC homecoming event that's going to actually take place the day after the conference, and everyone is invited to that. It'll be here in the atrium at 10 a.m. That's Saturday morning. That was close. We have 211 people that were registered during our last update, which was our last meeting on January 23rd, and we'll actually have a meeting tonight, and every week up until the conference we'll be meeting, and that's the planning committee. With the communications committee, we have been invited to do broadcasts on WCN, Heart of Carolina Perspectives on ABC 11, and a plug for WUNC. So all that stuff is being prepared, and someone will be recording for that. And let's see, Kara will be our moderator this year, if you guys didn't know. And we also have a youth moderator position that will be delivering the introduction of Dr. Christopher. Process evaluations are taking place. That's like the next big thing that's going on with the conference committee so far. Well, right now, other than the conference itself. And registration is pre-registration, so if you're interested in going or advertising to others to come, registration is next Friday. And money is due as well when you register by next Friday. And I think that's pretty much it.
For the e-board, I almost got to something else. Jason and I were talking about registration, so any of you who would like to go to the conference, please register and then let us know when you do so, and then the MSC will pay for those registration fees for the e-board. So if you're part of the e-board, and I think everybody in here is a part of the e-board. So yes, so make sure to register. Everything has to be done and paid for by next Friday. We will not be taking any late registration, so it has to be done. So please let us know once you register, and then Jasmine will help us to get that paid for.
Yeah, and then the other thing they mentioned is that they're trying to cut, again, you're in the community, you can share with this, with us, that they try to cut down how many people who come for volunteers, because they found out last year that there were too many volunteers. And then you remember they have to pay for each person who comes through. So you pay for all these people who come and stand around doing nothing. So they're trying to cut down those number of volunteers unless you are going to do something specific. So again, as we said last e-board meeting, that if you are interested to go and you're an e-board member, let us know. So at least also okay, not to be a bad person, but if we are paying the Minority Student Caucus paying for you to go, at least if it's not an emergency, be there. Because that's the thing that they told us, that last year they had so many people sign up and they paid for them and never showed up. So it's not economical for to use the little resources we have to pay for somebody who's not trying to show up. So, yeah.
Monica. Not Ebony. Monica. Okay. Do you have any updates for us as well?
Well, Jason and Jasmine and I were just talking about updating the Facebook page of the Black History Act every week or so. If you guys have any suggestions or anything that you would want to see, you can just pass it on to me. I did post the reminder to register for the conference by next week. I could post another reminder to everyone that follows our page next week also. And I think I wasn't at the last April meeting, but I think you guys decided to postpone the documentary until the spring or something.
It became cumbersome, especially with our busy schedules and all that.
Jasmine, any updates?
No, the budget's pretty much, or our account's pretty much still the same as last time, other than like a few reimbursements. So it's right under $4,000.
And now we're up $50 too, since
Okay.
we didn't use that, so I have that stuff for you. We also still have 2 Best Buy gift cards, so if we want to do any other events this semester, fundraisers and things like that, we have 2 more. We don't have to use them this semester, but I don't think they expire, but I will double check them. But yeah, we have 2 more, so we need incentives to get people here or to an event or wherever. We're holding a event with the Office of Student Affairs for admitted students. It's Admitted Students Day, and it's a social hour at Chapel. So that we're not using a gift card for that, but we can, if anyone would like to join, we'll send information on that. And that's just one of the things we're doing.
That's really last, is that like March 21st?
Yeah, I think
it's,
so. It's in March, yeah.
I know for us in our department, we do also that evening for the admitted PhD students, so it's going to be a conference, but I'm coming there. So the other thing is that they don't want to open it to everybody in the entire school because it might be overwhelmed. We don't have that budget. But for the membership, we need to, at least people, when they ask questions, they have someone to ask. You don't want them to just come, the admitted students, and they're looking like, oh, you're from California, we just flew in, you are from Michigan, and they don't know who to ask anything. So it's important for us also to appear and bring our friends, so at least we can be able to give more information to those students who are admitted.
Do you want to talk about the mentorship program?
Yeah, mentorship program has been one of those exciting things that has been long in the making. Finally, last Monday, we had a board meeting with the Alumni Association, And then they've been enthusiastic all along, including the dean. The dean is excited. In fact, she's like, since last October, she was like, what do you need from me? Let me know what you need and let's get it off the ground. So what we're waiting for right now is the bios from the mentors, because we had about 6 mentors sign up, and then Jeffrey is helping me get at least 4 other more, because apparently HPM and the maternal child health are the ones who have like 54% of the members who are going to be mentees. So we're going to once we get that information, and I'm going to send an email, at least tonight, because I've been forgetting, to remind them to send us those bios so we can send the mentees to pick the top 3 so we can do the matching. Because we got what the student wanted to be mentored on, but now we ask the mentors also to give us a short bio, so it can be a good match that if I want to work with somebody, I can pick them, and then we can start. But we said by the March 1st we should have the first meeting with the mentors too, so at least to get it going.
For those of you who might not know, Minority Student Caucus is working on a mentorship program, and it's actually a pilot study that we're doing this semester to hopefully expand into next semester. So we sent out an email a few weeks ago asking for people who are interested to sign up, and I think we have 15 or 16. We have 16 people who signed up to be mentees, and they'll be paired in groups of probably 2 or 3 to a specific mentor based on each other's interests. So.
Yeah, and then the exciting part is that we have a good like alumni members who are really wanting to help out. Again, for me the benefit is that if I want to work in a hospital, I want to get to, for example, a director or a vice president who can even give me the insight, like, okay, this is what you need to prepare for. This is what we are looking for. This, those simple things that might sound simple, but when you go into the job market, it might be helpful. And not only that, even when we go to those conferences, it can connect you with other people. And then those people, you don't know how they can be helpful 2-3 years down the line. Or it can help you get into a job market that you could have never gotten into. So there's so much potential, they are excited. In fact, the ones who are there, when we ask, like, okay, how many? All the people in the committee on mentorship signed up, some from CDC, some from Washington, D.C. So we have a good mix of, including one from LTI, who said she's coming for the conference. And she's excited. She was telling me, like, let me know what you need from me. If you need to come in and speak on jobs at LTI, I can come in and talk about that. So, and those are things that I think we can benefit the students, but also we can help them, also because they want to help students, but they don't know how. So if we can say, okay, we want this help, they can help us out. And the president of the alumni, both of them, the incoming and the outgoing, they are great. So we are lucky because some schools don't have that support from them.
Is there anything else?
Elections.
Oh,
Elections.
yes.
So we need people to take our spots for those of us who are graduating. I know some of you will still be here, so if you want to continue on, we would love to have you, Kara. Jason. But Jasmine, you're graduating as well? Okay, and you're also, so we're all graduating. So
I'm graduating to be a 3rd-year student.
But don't leave us, because we need you. So we need to stop having elections, and we can send out things through the listserv, but what might be even more helpful is going into your departments and recruiting people, especially since we don't have the highest turnout rate at the meetings, to be able to kind of talk to people and let them know, what that position entails, or just let them know about the opening. So it'll be one co-president, triad chair, publicity, and treasurer. That's assuming that you guys are staying in your positions. But if you decide not to, so if you want to move up to co-president, please feel free. So we'll send out. The Office of Student Affairs kind of wants everything to happen with all organizations kind of around the same time. So we're hoping to send out things for the election process by the end of the month, to be able to hold elections by the beginning of next month, and then have it set so that way it can just be transitioned from that.
Yeah.
Transition.
Yeah.
Right. And then have that all done before April, because April everybody's going all of this. So.
Yeah, and again, on the same thing, that encourage other people who might not be attending these events or meetings, but they might be good or interested in being active. So again, each one of us are busy, so but if we are a group of us, one person does this, another person does that, we might be able to work. And then, like, don't let failure, for example, like if we didn't do things we had set out to do, don't let that be the, you know, the determining factor if you're coming back or not. And the other thing is that, like this year, I'm glad that at least we had diversity from women departments, because last few years I remember that it's been only health behavior. Most people come from health behavior to be leaders. So this year, at least we had, in fact, let me see, health policy, we had more people, right? So, yeah, so at least even having that diversity, not only that, also having from PhD students to undergraduate students, like, because again, when people graduate, if you have only master's students graduating every 2 years, you might not have that continuity. So if you know people who can help us, and again, like if you look on our constitution, also we don't limit to any, like whoever wants to join is not limited to all. We want only racial minorities, and again, we expanded in the constitution that what the description of minority is. It's not just, because most people when you talk about minorities, they think it's a racial minority.
And I think we've done a pretty good job with getting that out there and partnering with different organizations, and hopefully we'll be able to do that some more this semester, even if it's just with happy hours or social events, but different things. So keep that
And
in mind.
if you have ideas also what we can do between now and before those guys who are graduating, we can, especially since we have a little money in their account, we can do some things. Again, like especially this Black History Month, I was watching this documentary. I've watched it several times, but I keep on watching it, and it brings tears to your eyes because of the story. I don't know if you guys have seen that documentary about the story about Vivian Thomas in Johns Hopkins. The guy who used to do surgery for the blue baby syndrome, and he was never educated, but it was, you know, during the segregation period. He will do all those things, but when he goes outside the operating room, he has to bow to to his physicians and all that, and then they have to eat in different restaurants and all that. And then it took up to 1991, 96 when he was recognized. And that story, okay, anyway. So we can even have, like, even if I've watched it tons and tons of times, we can even have a watch party and have dinner or something.
Right.
So, like, let's do something. I mean, if you have an idea, let's do it. Let's, again, as we say, that you don't have to have a crowd of 25 people. You can have 5 people and do something. Anyway,
All right, so I'm going to go check on Bill. Dr. Bill Jenkins is here today, and he's going to talk to us about mentorship.
So any question or any comment?
This is the CIS. Okay, I'm terrible on names, but I tried to get some of them, but I'm sure I'm going to forget somebody. So, if they see this, I apologize up front. Hi. Hello. Are you the detective?
Sure.
Who's the detective? Okay. So the first question was about the history of the Minority Health Conference and stuff like that. Okay, I'll tell you as much as I can remember. So there was a Black Student Caucus formed in 1971. And I don't know very much about what eventually happened with them. I didn't get in until 1974. What I was told was that there was a meeting at Dr. Hatch's house to form this group, and people like Ted Parrish, who lives right behind over here, and who said it? was someone who was in health administration and who worked at what was then called Soul City. Has anybody here ever heard of Soul City? It's one of those black things, don't worry. But it was a city that was going to be created by black people during the 1960s with support from the federal government. And the head of that was Floyd McKissick, and Bob Kelly worked with Floyd McKissick. And that's important because when I got here, well, I'll tell you why that's important later. So when I got here, my degree was in biostatistics at Georgetown, but I wanted to switch to epidemiology because I wanted to be more, closer to the action as they were. We were very into being relevant back in those days. So I was recruited to UNC Chapel Hill from Georgetown by our staff. And I got the job as TA for 161 Epi. There were a lot of non-Epi people. Am I getting the numbers confused? Anyway, there were a lot of non-Epi people in the course that I taught. And I was the TA, and then the senior TA, and then I later gave lectures in the class over the years I was here. But one of the things people were concerned about was that African American students who were being brought into the school were not doing very well in epidemiology and biostat. And I said, oh, epidemiology and biostat, I can help do that. So we started a course called the Survival Course. And it was just to get African American students to pass epidemiology and biostat. And Jim Morrell also taught that course. So Jim and I would get together in the evening with students. We primarily focused on African Americans, and then found out that other, particularly minority students, was interested in passing epidemiology and biostat too. I assume that's still true here. So that's what we did for a little while. Now Jim Kelly had suggested one evening that we do a minority health conference. And of course he wanted this Floyd McKissick to be the first speaker. I didn't realize Floyd McKissick was his supervisor at the time, but now I understand that a little better. I didn't put that together for a while. So, but it was cool, it was good. And so we started having, one of the things that happens at any major university is that at UNC, interesting people interested in issues like health disparities, for example, come to the campus all the time, and they come to UNC and Duke all the time, especially Duke because they got a lot of money. They serve really nice dishes after their speakers. We can't afford to do that. So we were able to just go to people and ask them if they had a little time after their presentation or even before their presentation, would they be willing to come over? And the health administration department was really helpful in getting those things done. As we progressed to the idea of having a major minority health conference, and I was, the chair, whatever, of the black, what had now become, especially at this point, once we started talking about a minority health conference rather than a black health conference, other students became very involved in trying to support the conference. Jenny Ng, that I remember, Vicki Motley Washington now, Cherry Beasley, who was from Lumbee community, and all of you know Jenny Ng is Asian. And then there were several other people I'm trying to remember who worked very hard. I want to tell you that I did not do very much except, work with ideas and getting people to connect and stuff like that. So the real work, day-to-day work of the conference were done by these three people and others. So I don't want to pretend that I was working my fingers to the bones, except maybe to that last night. Because there were several other things that were going on with regards to what we would have called discrimination back then at the school that kept me busy, as well as Dean Greenberg. And I don't know if you know anything about Dean Greenberg, but Dean Greenberg was this dean who would just, everybody work together, come on, let's get together and let's figure this out, and come on. It was funny, especially, given the way I acted sometimes with some of the stuff that happened in the school. And believe me, those early years at the school would not have been that comfortable for African American students, but that's another issue, I guess. So that's basically how the conference got started. I don't know how many people, 100, maybe 200 people in the community. Oh, let me mention one person who is a real hero here. That people, Mr. Land. Mr. Land was the AV person at the school. But Mr. Land knew the faculty, the staff, community people, and he was an advisor, a mentor to us. Yeah, a mentor to us. And yet, for a student who thought they were so and so important and blah, 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 they would never have asked Mr. Land advice about what to do there at the school. And yet, in my mind, he was one of the most important student advisors for minority students at the school. And it's unfortunate that he's not here now, because if he was here instead of me to tell you about how the school is run and what you should do and the people you should seek support from and the people you should not seek support from and stuff like that, this was Mr. Land, an incredible resource that would probably never go down in the history of the school for black students. Is Mr. Lantz still? I don't even know if he's still alive. But he's somebody black, not just black students. Minority students should consider acknowledging at some point his contribution. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm off track. Of course, Bill Doherty was very helpful, of course. And Dean Greenberg. And so we had the okay from the school to do it. We had the energy from so many young students. Not young, I was the same age, so I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But, so many students. And we put the conference together. We thought, we weren't sure what was going to happen, and so we were out late. We waited for the people to come, and they came. And that's it. And it's been happening ever since. That's how the Minority Student Caucus came into existence. And many of the things have been similar to what we started with. We tried to have co-chairs of committees because any one student that was just too much, we learned that very quickly. And that's basically it, I think. Okay. Is there anything about that anybody has a question about? Okay, the next question was
being one of the first students at the school.
Say that again?
Being one of the first students of color at the
school. Yeah. When I left Morehouse in 1967, I was arranged to go to Emory. And the rumor was at the time there were 3 black students at Emory, I being one. The other 2 black students who were at Emory I never saw. I mean, I went out every day at Dooley's looking for these supposedly other 2 students on the campus. I never saw them. Emory was not a, the person who recruited me to Emory was Malcolm Turner, and my advisor at Morehouse. And I don't know what, connection Dr. Segal had with Malcolm Turner, I don't know. But anyway, 2 weeks after graduation, I was in graduate program, in this biometry program at Emory. It was an ugly experience. This one teacher would change my grades downward, and so my roommate, who was French Canadian, decided, and he was this brilliant 14-year-old guy. I don't know whatever happened to him. But we worked out something once about homework where we gave this very nice, good old boy from Georgia who was not the quickest biostatistician you'd ever meet. And we arranged to turn in these homeworks where my homework would be just 2 more corrected answers than the good old guy. And we turned it all in, and my grade was lower. So I took this to Dr. Turner, and he said I should just, work it through, and these things happen, and we need to make sure that sort of a Jackie Robinson speech, which I was not Jackie Robinson. It turns out that I was Jackie Robinson, it's just that I was less mature than Jackie Robinson. And I don't mean in any greatness sense, just in my ability to deal with discrimination. So I got very, very, shall we say, upset. I had been in SNCC in the 60s, so when you all probably don't know anything about SNCC, but SNCC people tended to be a little, what I'll be using careful words now. SNCC people tended to be a little assertive. It's not the view other people had of us, but we tended to be assertive, and I was assertive. And then left. And I was also 1A, that's the other thing. I was also getting pressure from the draft board of in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Anyway, Dr. Segal again arranged for an interview for me with the representative from the National Center for Health Statistics, which is a part of the Public Health Service, now a part of Centers for Disease Control. And it was arranged for me to become one of the first commissioned officers in the Public Health Service to get a commission directly out of undergrad. It had never been heard of before. And this woman went out of her way to get me into the Public Health Service. And she was not known to be a particularly nice person, which I have never quite understood why she went out of her way. And I got into the Public Health Service Commission Court just before I was due to be drafted, or just before I was due to leave for Canada, to tell you the truth. But so anyway, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Is that too much? Am I telling you too much? Okay.
No.
Okay. So I'm trying to remember this sequence. I'm afraid I didn't prepare as well as I should have because I was, okay. I had a little hospital visit I had to do this week, so I was out of it 2 or 3 days. Still am out of it a little bit, actually. So, so I got into the Commission Corps, worked at the National Center of Health Statistics, and then for some reason the director of the center asked me to work directly for him. Again, you know, one of these strange things, you know, I don't know. Ted Woolsey was the director of the National Center for Health Statistics. And I also became the EEO officer for the center. Now you gotta remember I was like 20, maybe 21. So by 22, I have like, you know, the office with 2 secretaries up there. You know, what the hell is this? This is crazy. This is so crazy when I look back on it. And then I decided, I don't know why. What happened? Something happened. What happened? Damn, I can't believe it. But something happened. I'll remember, I hope, in the country. That made me decide I did not want to be an important Negro. I didn't want my name to be so and so. It was getting crazy. You know, I had been given many assignments around for HEW. I had become a special assistant to the secretary. Unfortunately, this is not a good thing in my history, but I will tell you, my job was to close public health service hospitals and give them to communities, and they're mainly black communities who could not afford to run a hospital. But I